the best boxing content, don't forget to like, subscribe, and punch that bell for notifications.
Gentlemen, you were given your instructions in your separate dressing rooms. Please obey my commands, respect the bell, and above all, protect yourself at all times. Touch gloves. God bless you both.
He's just about 20 minutes removed, is Steve Smoger, as he says hello there to us, from what I feel is one of the greatest exhibitions a referee has ever had. Mickey Ward versus Emmanuel Augustus, which was here in New Hampshire. Hampton Beach Casino, one of the fights of the year, universally recognized many, many years ago.
And that was a hot night.
Fights.
And it was a hot night, and as you just so well described, tremendous fight. And one of the fights that really got lifted Mickey Ward to his big fights on the national spotlight with Arturo Gatti.
The left hand from Lundy. Talked about those fast hands of the Philly-based fighter.
Well, I think more importantly than just that, Joe, I talked about Lundy can switch, and that I thought he might come out southpaw early.
He does.
And he has. He's usually an orthodox fighter, but a lefty now versus the lefty. Lundy trying to take that southpaw style advantage and confidence away from Ajose early on.
Now, Lundy is naturally left-handed, but he normally fights in an orthodox stance, but can switch, as Teddy noted.
And funny you said that. Ajose naturally righty.
Isn't that interesting?
But he made himself into a southpaw. And you know, a lot of people think that makes sense, because why not have the dominant hand out in front? The hand that you can use more regularly.
Yeah, you're jabbing with that front hand. Turn over that hook fast with it.
Yeah, and the hand that you use probably 70%, maybe 80% of the time.
How did you deal with young amateur fighters? A kid comes in, he's 12, 13, 14 years old. You just let them fall into their natural rhythm of what feels comfortable for them? Do you watch it and advise them somehow early in their career? How does that come about?
You're always watching, you're always making adjustments to what kind of talent, what kind of temperament, also, what kind of confidence, what kind of way of thinking a fighter has. But if I saw a fighter, I'd ask him, what's your dominant hand? What do you right with? What do you throw a ball with? If he was a lefty, I'd make him a southpaw. If he was a righty, I'd make him orthodox. In the old days, you would take guys that were lefties and turn them and force them to be orthodox fighters, because you get blackballed. A lot of managers in the old days didn't want to fight southpaw.
Right, they want business.
Exactly, but nowadays, as long as you can fight, as long as you have a good record, as long as you have a good promoter, doesn't matter. Nobody's going to avoid you, so you don't see guys turning southpaws into orthodox fighters like they used to. You're going to see Ajose not a seek and destroy guy. Southpaw doesn't just walk in, but he's available. He's right in front of you. He likes to go in and out, and he only fights in spurts. He'll cover up and give you chances. Chances Lundy has been taken advantage of to score.
Lundy's scoring pretty well here in the final 30 seconds of round number one.
You know, both these fighters have been involved. I'm not wishing it on them, but must do my job. They have been involved with some head clashes. Lundy has been cut from a head clash. Sometimes he'll come in there a little bit with the nugget. And so has Ajose been involved with a little banging of the heads in his career. Lundy has come off the floor to win several times. Matter of fact, he's been on the floor in 5 separate fights. But in fairness to him, a lot of people say he doesn't have a chin. Well, he's got plenty of heart. As I said, he's gotten off the floor a couple times to win. And some of those times when he's been dropped, it was just his glove that touched the canvas that registered it as a knockdown.
Both men picking up the pace here, trading as Ajose was sprinting in with that series of lefts and rights. Now doubling up that right hand.
Both men will fight in spurts. The spurts faster on the side of Lundy. And Ajose, as I said the last round, he will cover up, go into that peekaboo, and give you a chance to just get off and handcuff him a little bit, keep him busy, and maybe score on him by putting them together.
Right hand to the belt line by Ajose.
Ajose likes to use his legs, not really to move around the ring, but to go out and go in. As he just did right there. In and out, in and out.
Three-punch combination.
That's the rhythm Ajose will be looking for if he's going to be effective tonight. And the pattern he will be looking for. And you can look for it at home. Lundy staying with the southpaw style.
The left hand scored.
Well, he did just what we talked about on the fight plan, actually. He slipped the jab, the lead right hand of Ajose, and then countered with the left hand.
So a counter left hand from Hank Lundy here in round number 2, getting the attention of Ajose. There's a good right jab off that hip. Tried to catch him with an uppercut coming in that time.
See, Lundy's going to depend on some counter punching. He's going to lay back, make you miss, pick spots with those quick hands. Ajose wants to be steadier, in and out and steady.
End of 2 here.
Ajose to be a little tentative, a little thoughtful, maybe too thoughtful about throwing that jab. Wouldn't be a bad idea, Joe, for Ajose to aim a couple of those punches. He only fights in spurts. Make some of those spurts to the body of a man who's in front of you, Lundy, who likes to use his legs a little bit to move.
That time he did send a left and a right to the body.
Even though Lundy does everything quicker, faster, there are similarities with these two fighters. They're both southpaw right now. That's one easy one. The other is Lundy will give you chances where they go into that peekaboo and just cover up in front of you, just like Ajose. Big difference is Lundy looks for counters, looks for you to lead sometimes and then he'll counter. And for the most part, Ajose just looks to do that. Go out, go in. And Lundy will take his legs to the side once in a while.
Don't punch. Step, 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 step.
I'd look for the corner of Ajose to, again, pardon the pun, increase the heat a little bit. He's the bigger man between junior welter and welterweight his whole career. Lundy has been a lightweight most of his career.
Another one of those countering opportunities moments ago that Lundy filled with the left hand.
See, if you're the bigger man, well, go inside, go to the body of the smaller man. That's what Ajose seems to be doing. And you're going to see him doing it, as we suggested, in spurts. He fights like in bushels, you know, like a bushel of corn. And you get a whole bunch of them at one time, you throw in that bushel basket. That's kind of how Ajose goes about his combinations.
There's a left hand from Hank Lundy that backed up Ajose.
Ajose trying to do a Muhammad Ali and play it off like it didn't affect him the way Ali played off the right hands from Ernie Shavers years ago.
One of the most powerful punches at the division has ever seen. Carmen Basilio was TKO'd by one of the all-time greats a little later on, but nice to have Tony DeMarco with us ringside for Friday Night Fights, just over the border from Massachusetts here in Salem, New Hampshire.
Yeah, DeMarco around during a time, a golden time in boxing when there was so many good fighters. Let me rephrase that, so many great fighters. And DeMarco, well, he got it done with a powerful left hook.
81 years old now is DeMarco. Nice to have the former world champion with us. Teddy's scorecard as we are at the start of round number 3. 29-28 for Hank Lundy.
You know, you saw
for both men, Teddy, at this stage of their career.
Yeah, you could say a crossroads fight. I mean, Lundy's lost 2 in a row. He can't afford to lose 3 in a row, that's for sure. And Ajose's only loss was by knockout. If he wants to show that he's on the level of top guys, which he already had an opportunity with a Matesi, and he showed he wasn't on that level. Not yet, anyway.
Here's a clash of heads.
If he wants another chance to show that, needs to get it done tonight. We talked about heads coming together, or at least I did early on, and as you said, just got a sample of it a moment ago. You know, I started to say the last round, tough round to score. Lundy looked like he staggered Ajose with a punch, but Ajose was a little busier during the round, maybe up to that point, scoring a little bit better. You wonder what the judges look at, but the punch that Lundy scored well with was that same punch we talked about in the fight plan. He slipped to his left, took the jab of Ajose and countered with the left hand. The corner needs to explain to Ajose, the same way as we saw it in the fight plan, that he's got to be careful when he's throwing that jab, that Lundy does have the ability to slip it and counter. What I think Ajose should do is make sure when he throws that jab, he moves his head. Or, maybe even better, feint a little bit, get Lundy to make that move. See Lundy looking to make that move?
Yes, he was.
He's looking to slip and then counter. Lundy likes to counter. You have to know your man. Do your homework. Give him a little feint. Make Lundy make that defensive move too soon. And then you can throw the punch after the move is gone.
Time he shoulder rolled and came back with the left hand. Josie and Lundy gonna have 4 rounds in the books here, scheduled for 10. Well balanced main event.
Not a straight left hand, a left uppercut, he mixed it up. But the same principle. Somebody needs to explain to Ajose, and to be frank with you, should have been explained going into the fight. That when you throw that lead jab and Lundy is in the southpaw position, guess what? He has a tendency to slip to his left and counter it.
And Lundy has maintained that southpaw position all night long against the southpaw, originally from Africa, now New York-based Ajose.
And again, the thing that you do if you're Ajose, first of all, you throw that jab from a little further out, not from so close where the counter can get to you so quickly. You got to be a little further out, get full range on that jab where you're safe. You got to move your head after the jab, not be stationary where that counter can find you, or give a little feint. Make Lundy make that head movement prematurely.
CompuBox checks in with us and gives us the total punch count of 274 to 232. Ajose in a 57-54 connect advantage.
Not
comparable
the easy,
numbers.
Yeah, not the easiest rounds, Joe, to score.
No.
The last 2 rounds, I thought Ajose fighting in spurts might have been a little busier in spots, but the more telling punches landed probably by Lundy, and there wasn't many of them.
Thus, Teddy's scorecard looks like this, 39-37, but close rounds, as we've discussed.
And as we discussed, watch Lundy. It's there for you. He stands, he waits for a lead, looking to counter. That's first on his mind. You wait too long on him, then he'll lead. He'll get off. he used the jab like that. Ajose waited too long, didn't do anything. So Lundy used the jab to beat him to the mark. But on the mind of Lundy is take what my opponent throws at me, make it miss, and throw something back. A little like Floyd Mayweather at a different level. Much different level.
There's a short left hand scored by Lundy that had something behind it. Now he's taking small steps forward, looking to corral Ajose in that corner, and he lands another left hand.
Again, that's the punch we talked about in the fight plan. And that's the punch that obviously Ajose just wasn't prepared for. Conditioning will come into play in this fight. With this heat, with these lights making it even hotter. And there's those left hand again. Same punch, off the counter, off the head movement.
As Ajose tries to hang on in the final moments of round number 5. Lundy having hurt.
And once again, from the southpaw position, Lundy understood that he could counter the lead right hand, the jabbing hand of Ajose.
Oh, that ultra slow-mo on that last left hand was something as we begin round number 6 here. Lundy, remember, has lost 2 straight close decisions.
Most of the fight for Ajose have been in England. He's not in England tonight. Out of 32 bouts, this is only his 4th fight in the United States. Record is 2-1 in the U.S., 29-0 outside of the United States.
That lone loss came in Vegas against Lucas Matisse. He was at the Hard Rock. He was game, he was gutsy, but he was beaten down. TKO'd in the 10th round.
The fight early in the night, I talked about inactivity. It hurts you. There's inactivity going in here for Ajose. Go back 2 fights, he was off 1 year.
Giving up the 3-punch combination. Now Lundy trying to target that body. Coming in with left hands as Ajose ties up.
You know, we talked about the speed advantage and the ability to counter for Lundy. Also, another advantage is probably the quality of fighters that he's fought, Joe. I mean, for the exception of the Maltese fight, Lundy has been in with the overall much better comp. And he's showing it right now.
Abril, Diaz, John Molina, Danny Williams, Ray Beltran.
Exactly. And that left hand, by the way, for Lundy is still there. No change in the approach of Ajose to take away that left hand of Lundy. But one thing you do see as a change. See, the left hand lands again.
Long range left hand, and then he lined it up a second time, did the hammer and Hank Lundy.
I'll tell you the change I see, the change we talked about that would come about from Lundy landing the left hand. Tentativeness from Ajose, not using the jab now, giving up the jab a little bit. And reaching in with hooks. Punches that are even easier to counter. So Lundy's gotten what he wanted. He's gotten Ajose to think too much about what he's going to throw.
Controlling the middle rounds here of this scheduled 10-rounder is Philly's Hank Lundy.
And it never got there.
7th round here at Rockingham Park in Salem, New Hampshire of our main event. Hank Lundy had a big round in the 5th. Left hand hurt the southpaw Ajose. Strategy by Lundy coming out southpaw. He's done beautiful work with the counters all night long. Put together a good 6th round as well. And now 4 to go in the main event. patiently working that jab and looking to place that left hand to the body.
Coming in, Lundy, we talked about having had more experience with better fighters. Part of that experience gave him the confidence, too, to know that he could do very well with a southpaw and know how to handle a southpaw, how to take the southpaw advantage away. Lundy has beaten 2 southpaws in his career. So he's very comfortable with lefty, especially when you have that secret weapon, that dimension that Lundy has, where you can turn southpaw and fight fire with fire. Give your opponent a taste of his own medicine. That's how Lundy deals with southpaw.
$59-55 on Teddy's scorecard for Hammer and Hank.
Lundy
Early rounds were close. 5th and 6th were not.
No, they weren't, Joe. You're right. Lundy deals with southpaws the way you deal with vampires. Puts the mirror on them. Throws his own image right back at them. Or throws their image right back at them.
Which is much better in the ring than wearing a garlic-laden necklace.
Yeah, because that smells. And with this heat and humidity, it gets soggy and heavy.
Hey.
But the guys in the truck would love to use it on pasta after this show. They're always ready to have a plate of pasta. And right now, a plate of left hand.
Lundy's on the attack. Last 30 seconds of the 7th. Ajose in trouble. Staggered back into that red corner. Looking to survive, and now does tie up.
Yeah, left hand's bothering him all night. And don't think the heat's not bothering him about now, too.
94 degrees ringside here at night. This heat wave that's come through New England and under the bright lights and the low ceilings here at Rockingham Park. Big round for Lundy.
He's going to look to do. Slip the jab to the left from the southpaw position and counter with your left hand. Also, obviously, so far tonight, witnesses Ajose did not understand that Lundy could do that and would do that. And that's why he's losing the fight. He didn't scout his opponent properly or understand his opponent properly coming in, and Lundy did.
As did you with the fight plan, sizing this thing up.
All night long, that one move has been the only move Lundy's needed. Slip to the left from the southpaw Ajose, slip his jab, and then fire the left hand back.
Just doubling up that jab and then touching him with the left hand.
Yeah, Lundy knows what to do. I mean, you lay too long in front of him, he's got the quickness, got a pretty good jab, he'll get off, he'll beat you to the mark. And then for the most part, again, he'll be looking for those counters.
3-punch combination, more the aggressor now on the lead, comfortably in control. Able to have it at his way, his pace. Here is corner saying use the jab
Lundy
more.
has been developing pretty well as a fighter since he's been showing up on our air, and he's been doing it for quite a while, Joe. I've seen a real good progression, development in Lundy, where he's settled down, he's become a much more complete fighter, a more mature fighter, just a more professional fighter.
Yeah, he's rounded out more evolved. His 9th fight on ESPN tonight.
He used to be a lot more reckless. Give you many more opportunities to do something to him than he does now, Lundy.
He was enamored by his athleticism and speed back in those days.
Ajose lacking confidence and just what Lundy planned would happen. He's afraid to let his hands go now that he's been counted so many times, Joe. And as you said early on, you picked up on it, that swelling. The right eye of Ajose has that eye about halfway closed.
Also a little bit of blood coming from the nose. Two rounds to go. Just moments ago. So that was after the 8th round when Lundy came back to the corner in complete control against Ajose. After that big 5th round, continued into the 6th, the 7th, the 8th, the swelling of the right eye, the steady work with the counter left hands, and Ajose affected and slowing.
Well, that's the trainer thinking business, and he's not really wrong. Thinking business that it's not enough to just win. You want people to cry, to scream, and promoters to cry and scream and call you up and want you back because you make a statement. And that's the trainer saying we can put an exclamation point on this fight and make a statement with a knockout. The problem is the temperament of Lundy is the temperament of Lundy. He's a good fighter. He's become a fairly solid fighter, but he's also a thoughtful, careful fighter for the most part. Fighters that like to counterpunch, that tells you they're not a seek and destroy guy. They're a guy that thinks and likes to use technique and polish as much as anything else.
That fast left hand that came in again. You hear the corner saying he's hurt as Ajose is on the receiving end of that left hand. Not throwing much out right now. Just circling up on his feet, got caught again.
You know Ajose's in trouble if you didn't know. You've been watching the fight, you know. But if you just came in and you understood his style, you'd really know right away because he's using the ring. That's not what he usually does.
No.
He usually stays in front, goes in and out. That's it. But now he's using the entire ring. He's in trouble.
It's been circling for the better part of the past minute and a half.
Come on, he don't even want to win now. He's just trying to survive.
One thing that Lundy could do a better job when he's dealing with what he's dealing with now, a guy who's surviving, moving, using the ring. Lundy could jab on his way in. Jab to the chest, stabilize Ajose and make it a little easier to control him, to get him stationary. Don't just walk in and follow him with no jab. You give him a chance to pot shot you then. Little over-anxiousness by Lundy.
And an energized Hank Lundy. Hard work indeed to arrive at points like this. Let's see how he chooses to finish up the night.
I think he'll choose it the way that he's lived it. The way he's lived most of his career and the way he's fought tonight. As a counterpuncher, as a guy picking spots and being thoughtful and responsible in his mind.
He accelerated after the 4th round. That is not a knockdown. 5th round was his big round. Left hand landed and started the downhill course for Ajose.
Set the home one up, baby. Set it up.
Keep back. Keep back.
You are what you are. You're a boxer, even though your head and your corner is urging you for an exclamation point. to finish it, to bring the curtain down, you're still going to behave like a boxer. And that's what Lundy is.
Exactly what we're seeing here halfway through round 10. As he will be coasting in for what was a much-needed win after those tough-to-take decision losses. After being a contender at 135 pounds, struggling a bit there to make weight, coming up to 140. And worked his way into prime position before an upset loss got the best of him against Ray Beltran in New Jersey last July. That time he just followed him straight back and placed the left hand along with it.
Step back. Stay tight. Go, go, go.
Josie been circling the last couple rounds. Just waiting for that final bell. And Lundy has a lot to like about this night. For Ajose, came to America's 4th fight, about to get his 2nd loss. And right down the stretch, 99-91, says Teddy. To hear how the judges had it, we send it up to the ring to David Diamante.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's get a nice round of applause out here for both of these fighters. After 10 rounds of action here at Rockingham Park, we go to the judges' score totals. Frank Wells scored this bout 100-90. Leo Gerstel and Mike Nolan both scored this bout 98-92. All for your winner by unanimous decision from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, hammering Lundy.
Boy, he needed it, he earned it, and he got it. Hammering Hank Lundy after those decision losses, now 23-3-1.